Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping into this live webinar on the District 128's new college and career planning tool, SchooLinks. I'm super excited to share tonight's presentation and walk through some things with you tonight, as well as answer some questions. I'll introduce myself. My name is Ben Rodriguez. I'm the Director of College and Career Readiness here at District 128. I'm excited to bring to you some new things that students and families have access to in terms of college and career planning, as well as where, what, and why we have these resources now available. So I'm excited to share this with everyone here. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through some things on this presentation, and then we'll also be bopping back and forth into SchooLinks itself. So we'll start with a little bit of an intro in terms of SchooLinks itself. So why do we have this? What is it? And how are we using it with students? We'll start there. From there, we'll talk about logging in. All parent and guardians in District 128 students have access to an account to log into SchooLinks and see what their student sees on the system. So we'll walk through how to get logged in. Tonight, we will also talk about the Career Center, this one-stop shop for exploring different career options. We'll talk about what you see. We'll check into a few careers so you can see what students can see in terms of building lists of potential career options they might want to explore. Also, we will do a brief snapshot of post-secondary searches. So this refers to any kind of college search, a search for an institution that offers a credential of some kind after high school. We'll walk through that service as well. Then we will wrap up with the District 128 curriculum guides. I'll walk through how to navigate those things, those curriculum guides, how you can navigate through those different menus, and kind of summarize how we've sought to refine and condense and simplify some of these some of the information in the curriculum guides. And then we will wrap it up with a Q&A. I believe you all have an option to put in questions through the Q&A feature. So feel free to throw those in whenever you'd like. Just know that I will look to answer those at the end of the presentation. And yep. And of course, if there's questions later, or if something didn't quite resonate with you, please reach out to me. My contact information is right there. You can also find me on the district website, and I'm happy to connect with you to talk more about SchooLinks in District 128. All right, without further ado, we're going to start with number one, SchooLinks. Why do we have this? What is it? And how are we using it with students? Jumping right in, it is related to District 128's Explore Multiple Paths efforts, which essentially supports students developing college and career readiness across our district. And you can see some images of students engaging in college and career readiness activities across our two high schools. So what do we mean when we say this? What does this look like? The district has rallied around this goal of all students exploring options and graduating informed, prepared, and empowered to pursue the future career of their choosing. In high school, we think a lot about individualized planning. How do we help students think about what is right for them in terms of career options, post-secondary goals, and academic things that they're looking to do to line up with their career and post-secondary goals? We won't talk a lot tonight about career credentials and college credit, but just know that those are also items that we are interested in terms of supporting students to achieve, as well as professional skills and experiences. A lot of this work is trying to help families and students make purposeful choices, specifically around career and post-secondary options. We know the costs of post-secondary options are rising, so we're thoughtful about how do we help families think about making returns on those educational investments. And of course, something else with our younger learners is we know that students are not just looking to make a living, but how do we also help students make a difference? And all this work is very much reliant on our great community partners in terms of connecting them to community resources. So quickly at a snapshot, so that's kind of why SchooLinks kind of came about through that process. Like SchooLinks is our one-stop shop platform for college and career readiness efforts. So currently, SchooLinks hosts the curriculum guides in District 128, career pathways, which we'll talk about a little bit later, as well as a PACE framework, which is a system of students exploring career, post-secondary, and financial literacy options. We are also using SchooLinks. We'll talk about the career tools tonight. We'll talk about the post-secondary institution search. Please note that this replaced Naviance and SCORE, and now both buildings have access to this one resource. Know that we also use this to pull different kinds of reports for students, and also we use this system to manage our internship program. So SchooLinks is doing quite a few things for us, but wanted to give everyone a nice snapshot of what it is doing across our systems. So a couple other things on kind of where this is coming from. We have career, post-secondary, and financial planning activities for students throughout their time here in high school from 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. We call this our daring journey, different opportunities and experiences to build their capacity in that way, and know that we are looking to scale that out to even more activities. So the idea is that we may have a certain number of things that students do now in terms of their career, post-secondary, and financial planning. We are looking to scale those efforts thoughtfully over the next group of years. So the Daring Journey itself, again, is just that set of activities. You can see what that version looks like for 24-25. These are items that we are looking to work with your students on for their particular grade levels. And please know that we are refining those efforts and looking to make sure that they are high impact experiences for your students. In terms of communication, how have students onboarded to SchooLinks and all of these planning pieces? Students were onboarded via different modes. In 9th grade, that happened through freshman transition and link crew programs. In 10th grade, that was through a Daring Day experience. 11th grade, we had an asynchronous option. We reached out to them virtually. 12th grade, there was a class meeting. And note that for parents and guardians, it's been involved in district newsletters, building newsletters, the webinar tonight, welcome, and also a few materials that we've shared out. So just sharing out some of the communication efforts in terms of these planning services as well as SchooLinks itself. All right, so we've talked about, why do we have this? What is it? How we're using it? Now it's time to talk about how do you as a parent log in to SchooLinks. So that'll be our next piece now. So we have a letter shared out, and I will include this resource. I'll send this resource out to the chat in case you don't have access. There is a specific URL we shared previously in terms of accessing SchooLinks. You would use the email address you provided to District 128 during the school registration process. So if you don't have a Gmail account, you can go into the forgot password link right there. This is what you'll see when you go to that URL. Click there, and then you'll be able to log in using the email you provided District 128. Or if you use the Google Calendar, the Google account, you will have access through there. So just note, you've already have your information uploaded to SchooLinks using that email you provided during summer registration. And then if that email that you provided to us was a Gmail account, again, log in with Google and use that Gmail account. If you don't have that Gmail account, just reiterating, please do use that forgot password button right there to get logged in. And please note that you do not need to claim your account. We did not use account codes. So if you see a screen that's telling you about account codes, maybe we need to go back and check out one of these other screens in terms of either logging in with Google or the forgot password option. So those are the two ways into SchooLinks. Just it varies depending on what type of email address you provided for us. So that's logging in. When you log in for the first time, you will see your Guardian dashboard. If you ever get lost or if you ever start clicking around in there and you're wondering how do I get back to home base, you can click on the SchooLinks icon right in the top left corner there to get back to that home page for SchooLinks. And that applies to you as well as if you're looking at your student's profile as well. I also want to mention the side navigation bar. That side navigation bar, when you first log into SchooLinks, shows a few different options. I'll highlight three. The connect icon relates to your work affiliation. So, for example, if you'd be interested in being a part of some career exploration opportunities in the future, you can go ahead and connect with us that way. For the colleges icon, which is right over there, That's the option to explore and research colleges and post-secondary options. It says colleges, but it also includes institutions that award certificates and other programs like trade schools are available to be searched in that feature. And we'll talk about that later. And then the careers icon, which is that little briefcase there, allows folks to explore those career options, career pathways, different opportunities students have locally, whether it be a job or internship. And then also there are there are virtual reality workplace tours in there. So just some different options for families and students to explore. So that was logging in. Now we're going to jump over to the Career Center to talk a little bit about how to explore different options in terms of careers. So just again, if you're not sure how to navigate there from your homepage, it's that little briefcase icon right over there. And it should take you to a page that looks like this. When you log in and jump through the careers icon, you will see this as your dashboard. You're going to be able to see a few different things right away. You'll see the search for a career search bar right at the top left. You'll be able to see your main view kind of shows most job openings, and you can filter, use different filters to see different options show up. Right now, it's filtering for jobs that require a bachelor's degree. You can also go for most common careers. And then also in the top right corner, you're going to see that this is regional data. Your students and families can also search for careers through the clusters, through careers that have high rates of growth. Students can create favorites lists as well. So just building off different options that students might want to see in terms of career options. And then, of course, they can see all the careers at one glance. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this presentation. And I'm going to go right into SchooLinks. And I'm going to go into the Career Center. So let's kind of navigate here and see what we're seeing. So I'm going to jump into one particular career option and walk through what that looks like on the student and family, parent, guardian end. So when you jump into one of these options, perhaps something like this, such as software development, that includes computer programmer, computer scientist, developer, software engineer. It's going to give you some high general overview in terms of job growth, salary ranges, the education, the minimum education required. Note that for many careers that you can ask questions of professionals in these different areas to talk about what it's like to be in that career. They have that career at a glance. There's a video there talking about what do folks in this career do. There's a career comparison chart to show how this particular career option is growing or not growing in relation to other kind of jobs, as well as in the salary. If I go over here on the education and training, this little profile navigation, I can click there and I can start learning about, okay, so what do I need in terms of of education and training? You'll see that folks in this career option usually have a bachelor's degree, and they give you some more information there, and you can read more. Important qualities that students might want to reflect upon and be like, hey, are these qualities something that I find myself doing throughout my time at school? You can see that there's also related schools and majors that students can immediately click on one of these and start navigating to some searches and some post-secondary options related to that career option. If I go back over here to the profile navigation menu and go to career Q&A, you're going to see that students have been asking questions of folks in this profession, and there's video answers as well as some text answers as well. What's great is that students can ask questions here and hit submit, and that goes out to the community of SchooLinks professionals, and they can answer those questions and post their responses here. So great way to engage in a little career exploration. Career Outlook talks a little bit about, what is happening with this particular career option, both across the United States, national distribution, how it compares to other jobs in that career cluster. All sorts of, you can go into different states and see different sorts of salary information, job opportunities in terms of growth of that area. And then what's great is you can also see similar careers that might be related to this particular option. So all sorts of great options for students to see. What's nice is that right now I'm logged in as myself, but if I'm logged in as a student, I can favorite this career and check that out. So this is just jumping into a particular career, or I can also search, software development, and I should be seeing that particular career show up. If I go back over here to the top right corner, I'm going to see clusters. And I can see that I have all sorts of career clusters there that I can jump into and explore more. So let's just say I'm kind of interested in health science. So I jump in there and I can start looking at career opportunities specific to health science. I get a little overview at the top about health science, so perhaps a video. I can also sort careers through these different filters. If I'm curious about, hey, what has the most high job growth in Illinois? I'll see that something called health service management shows up at the top. What is that? I can jump in there and see very similar information to what I saw in the other career options. So there's all sorts of options in there. Notice that I can also filter by military careers as well. If I go back up to this top right-hand corner, I can start searching for careers that are quickly growing and highly popular. And so this is what SchooLinks shows as data here in terms of those different options that are growing pretty quickly. And of course, if I go back up to my top right-hand menu, I can go to all careers and see that I have all the options there. So this is just a quick overview of that career center. Just a great way for students and families to start just scanning and seeing what are some options and opportunities. The reason why I wanted to start with the Career Center is that having an idea of what that first career goal might be will help inform what your post-secondary searches will be. Knowing that if we can start thinking about, well, I think I'm interested in this career first, right? Knowing I might change my mind later, I can then backwards map and say, if this is my career goal, well, what post-secondary options make the most sense for me? Is it a 4-year degree? Is it a 2-year degree? Is it a certificate? Maybe it's an advanced degree. All sorts of ways to really figure out, well, if that's my goal, what kind of post-secondary options should I be looking at? I'm going to go back over here to the slideshow and kind of highlight that we're now moving on to the post-secondary searches. So this search tool that we're about to survey looks at not only colleges, but like as I mentioned before, other institutions that award certificates and similar kinds of post-secondary credentials. So we will walk through that. Um, Again, this is the slideshow, which I will share briefly, but this is just that first screen that you see, and I will walk through these different pieces right now in SchooLinks. So let's jump back over to SchooLinks, go over to colleges, and I'm going to go over to school search. Great. And again, I'm looking at it through my perspective, but if I jump in as a student, which why not? Let's jump in as a student because I think you'll see a few different things. And this is a demo account. Note that there's no personal information here. This is just a demo account that SchooLinks generates over there. So I'm going over to colleges and I'm going to school search. And here we are right back there. Great. So notice right away that I have quite a little bit of information displayed in front of me. So I'll kind of walk through different things that you see, as well as different things that students can do to interact with the information they see in front of them. So I'll kind of start by using this toolbar at the top as my kind of list to walk through in terms of how I'm exploring these different post-secondary options. So we'll start with the school search tab right there. So notice that I can search for location, school, or program. So if I'm looking for a particular state, a particular school, or a particular program or major, I can search for that program or major. So for example, if I were to search for something related to the computer, like notice I have all these options show up immediately in terms of programs, in terms of schools, as well as locations as well. So that's just the first thing to note. As I move down this top left corner from the search bar, notice that I already have a list of schools in front of me. Something that it's defaulting to currently is that it's defaulting to Illinois and public and private schools. You can turn that off. So we're going to go ahead and hit X and notice that very much changes the data that we see in front of us, right? So we aren't just limited to Illinois now. Now we get to see all the schools in the system. Something to note is as I hover over each of these submenus and filters, I can also choose to just see 4-year schools, 2-year schools, trade schools, and non-degree and certificate programs. I have other filters such as private and public, for-profit, and some other ways to organize those schools as well. And what's great is that you also have this little question mark option that lets you learn a little bit more about what do those mean. But yeah, so you can filter your search through there. You can also filter your search through campus, whether it's the type of location, the school size, the general region of the United States. Admissions, you can start looking just right ahead in terms of some admissions data, whether they're looking at your school's unweighted GPA data. There's a little information on how GPA works, test scores, and those kind of things. Acceptance rate filter. So if you're looking for different types of acceptance rate ranges, you can filter for that. Athletics, sports. So you're able to say, hey, I'm a passionate baseball player. I can start like using that as a part of my search as well to filter out different things in terms of schools I might be interested in exploring. Degree type. So again, bachelor's, associates, certificates, all sorts of options in terms of degree or post-secondary credentials. And there's a few other options as well. So schools with counselor comments and schools VR tour. So all sorts of great options to filter your school. You're also able to use this interactive map over here in terms of like searching specific areas. And I can go really zoom in and start searching for this area alone. And I see just within my screen, there's about 112 schools. Over here on the far right, you can sort schools in your list through this, through this as well. So I'm going to zoom over here. Let's see here. It's going to let me look over there. We'll see. There we go. Nope. All right, I'll zoom out. So sort by, you can sort by graduation rate, acceptance rate, distance from you. So there's all sorts of ways to filter this list over here, whether it's through these filters on this top left corner or the sort that's happening over here. So I have all sorts of options there. Notice that like this is my split view. I can go totally list view as well as just the map as well. So there's all sorts of ways to set up this search that might make sense for you. Notice right away that like we have all sorts of colleges over here and universities that we can start looking at in terms of options. Let's just jump into one of these options. Let's go with, let's see here. Oh, wow. Let's go with, let's just say, it's hard to pick one because if I pick one, then I don't want it to seem like I'm favoring that school as much as I just would like to share kind of what you see in terms of school. How about let's go into a school that we might be familiar with. Here we go. All right, so let's jump into there. All right, so now we're looking at a particular school, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And right away, we see some different options. You see some that I can access different photos, that I have access to their social media feeds in the top right corner. Notice that I'll get back up here in terms of how students can engage with this information. But there's an overview in terms of acceptance rates, graduation rates, enrollment. As I continue to scroll down, students can view videos from current students. There's a little information on the campus setting, so understanding what it's like on campus. Average monthly temperature, walk scores, uh, uh, also the student body. You're able to start understanding, what type of student body you might be potentially joining, different academics and programs. You can search for a program within that particular school as well. And you can see, some different types of programs are listed there. You'll see athletics. Notice that there's a link to their athletics site right away, so you can jump right in and explore more. Student life, student organizations, student resources, including disability services, cost and financial aid. So it gives you information such as the estimated net price, cost of attendance, links you right to the financial aid website in order to learn more. Admissions data, you're able to look at the acceptance rate and the average GPAs, test scores. You're also able to see scattergrams right over here for that particular school. So you can kind of see all sorts of data in terms of what kind of GPA is on my left-hand side and what kind of test scores are on my right on my x-axis there. And so I can kind of jump in and see that data directly from our school. And then you can also look at data from our district as well. And so there's all sorts of ways to navigate and see what has been happening with other students who have applied to this school. So great information there. Application information is there, including a link to their online application, and then also some suggestions for other schools. So what's great about this is that it gives a quick little one-page snapshot of a particular post-secondary option. And again, they have pages for every single type of option that we mentioned earlier. Students can add this to, can favorite this school, and they can also set it as maybe their goal, something they want to work toward. And they can also have options to add this to different lists they have. So students are able to look at these different school options and see right away, all right, is this something that I'd be interested in learning more about? Or is this something where I would want to maybe like still do some more searches? Something to note is that this information is collected via SchooLinks through a third party. So any search system, whether it's Naviance, My Learning, SchooLinks, all purchase these data sets from third-party vendors, and so that information is uploaded into SchooLinks for our viewing. The reason why I'm sharing that with you is that we want to make sure that if you see something and you're curious about it, it's always best to go and check that school's website just to verify if you're not sure about something. Oftentimes, maybe university may update something, and they didn't necessarily update their information in other places. So it's always good to check out that school website if you're really curious about digging into something. But if you're surveying and searching, this is a great way to kind of get a glance at a particular school. So that's the search options there. All sorts of great things that you can look at in terms of those school options. I want to quickly go across the top of my screen in terms of favorites and lists. You can start favoriting schools. This will be where you start favoriting schools, looking at admissions stats with your different informations that students can put in there, a finalist in terms of likely, target, and reach, and all sorts of options at the top. So I'm going to go ahead. I realize the time, so I'm going to kind of stop right there. Hopefully this has been enough to give a quick snapshot of how students can search for different options within for their post-secondary goals. Of course, if you have more questions, what's great is that you can reach out to me and I can help answer them, or also our great staff in our college and career resource centers at the schools can also help with understanding the search features for students. All right, so that was our post-secondary search, just at a glance. We're going to wrap up our time before Q&A with a quick overview of the District 128 curriculum guides. So the curriculum guides for both schools, Libertyville and Vernon High School, are now in SchooLinks. Something to note is that when students are logged into SchooLinks, when they view the curriculum guides, they will default to their school that they're enrolled in. So a Libertyville student, when they're logged in, will default to the Libertyville curriculum guide, and the same thing will happen for a Vernon Hills student who's when they're logged into their profile. When you are accessing SchooLinks, the curriculum guides through SchooLinks through a public link, please note at the top corner, that is where you will click on it defaults to all schools. So be sure to select the school from the dropdown for whose curriculum guide you'd like to review. So we'll just wanted to note that it defaults to the all schools. You can click and select the school you'd like. What I'm going to do next is kind of walk through each of these drop-down menus on the far left corner. The overview, grad requirements, pathways, and course offerings. The overview REEF is a refined group of documents from the original curriculum guides, taking content at the front of the curriculum guides and distilling it down to increase accessibility for families and students to understand different things. All sorts of information in here, including understanding course descriptions, counselor support resources, all sorts of great resources for families and students to explore. Also, the graduation requirements are mirrored at both schools, so they have not changed. They are the same. It's just they're listed there as well. Something new that's now available in our District 128 curriculum guides at both schools are career pathways. Career pathways is a framework of thinking about career exploration and how students can engage in that experience in an accessible way. So there's all sorts of ways to organize careers out there. The teams here working on this project thought that 7 in terms of other and in relation to other frameworks, 7 was a pretty accessible numbers to think about career exploration. Please note that some of our pathways have asterisks by them. That means that we have an endorsement, a state seal students can focus on earning if they'd like in their high school experience. And you can click on those drop downs to learn more. But in terms of the pathways in general, we developed 7 pathway guides to give snapshots of opportunities and options within those particular careers. What's great is that they do include the pathway overview, why students might be interested, some career options within that area, And a couple of things I do want to highlight is that it also includes activities, clubs, and courses students can try out right now to see if that pathway might be for them. So, for example, if a student is considering a career in agriculture, food, and natural resources, they'll be able to see, well, what activities, clubs, and courses are related to this that I could start to try now to see if that area is for me. Please note that these are snapshots of the pathways. They're not comprehensive, so we just wanted to clarify that they are just one pagers to help just start that conversation about what career area might be for me. When finally we will wrap up by talking about the course offerings. Course offerings can be viewed all in one list or by department. And so if you just click on course offerings on the far left corner, you will see all the offerings. Course offerings are now searchable with filterable tags attached. So you can filter by certain tags, including advanced placement, dual credit. And then, of course, tonight's the webinar to walk through those different things. Before I jump into the Q&A, I'm going to go back over here to SchooLinks. And I want to go over to, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this demo really quickly. And I would just want to kind of show the interactive version of this course curriculum guide. So right here is the live version now. Notice that I have that drop-down menu with those schools that I can pick from, Libertyville and Vernon Hills High School. This drop-down in terms of those different pages, so I can look at the graduation requirements all in one area. The graduation requirements are the same, of course, the career pathways. And notice the drop-down for human and public services. I can click on a page and get immediately to that one pager with that information. I'm going to go back up to course offerings. I can again search all of my offerings by name. I also have those filters over there, including tagging different courses. I can search for courses and start seeing what courses are there. Notice when I see a course, I can see, okay, there's DC Composition 1. I can click on that course and see some information related to that course. That's the course description right there. And also you're able to expand also. Just a quick overview. The guide hopefully is navigable in terms of the search, the filter, and then of course this drop-down menu, I'm able to drop into each of these departments and just see, all right, which of these courses have that information in there. So that's all. That's the curriculum guide. Awesome. All right, and now we're gonna wrap up our time together, noting that it's been about 30 minutes, so I try to save some time for questions. If you have questions, I believe you should be able to access the Q&A feature in terms of things that you're curious about. Maybe you'd like me to go back and review something, maybe something that you would like to ask. Happy to do that, happy to walk through if you have any questions. So I will go ahead and let some folks let you think, see if there's any questions, anything that you want to ask. Give you some time, no worries. What's great is that this presentation will be recorded, and we will put it out and send it out digitally, so you can go back and rewatch this later if you'd like. Yep, just want to share that. Great. Seeing if you have any questions. If you go to the Q&A feature, you should be able to throw questions into that option. All right, here we go. All right, we got one. Here we go. Okay, great. Yes. So the question is, were students given an overview of SchooLinks? If yes, when? Great. Yes. So each class got a different experience in terms of being introduced to SchooLinks. So I'm going to go back up here to this slide right there. So students were onboarded through different experiences, right? So in ninth grade, there was an onboarding lesson in the freshman transition and link crew. That happened this past fall. Daring Day was our experience for all 10th graders. That's when they first logged into SchooLinks. Did some light career exploration activities in there. For 11th grade, this was an asynchronous connection. So we sent a digital communication to the juniors relaying SchooLinks as our new tool. Please note that there will also be a class meeting though in the spring for juniors, so they will have the in-person experience as well. 12th graders had a little bit of a unique experience because they were juniors last year, and we were in the early stages of learning SchooLinks, and we thought we should give our juniors, rising seniors, so now the senior class of 24, 25. They actually had a class meeting at the end of last year where they were onboarded, and they had another class meeting as seniors to again just reiterate that this SchooLinks that this is how you can do post-secondary searches. So yes, so all students have had different ways of accessing information in SchooLinks. Mostly we try to think of SchooLinks access through like an activity that students would complete. So freshmen did some surveys. 10th graders did career exploration activities, so they favorited a career or two, perhaps. Juniors, we were focused on that post-secondary searches, as well as for 12th graders as well. Great. All right. Thank you so much. Great question. Are there any other questions you'd like me to walk through? Could be anything that I've covered before, or maybe something I haven't mentioned yet. Would be happy to answer questions. No worries. Okay, thank you. Yeah, all right, great. Sounds great. I appreciate your time. Again, if you think of other things that you're curious about, please reach out to me or Miss Cassandra Vasquez. She's the community partner, admin assistant. Our information is down there. Before I share this slideshow with everyone in this room, I wanted to share that there are some resources available. District 128 has written a general introduction letter, so just kind of an overview of SchooLinks. And we also have an account creation letter specifically geared for parents and guardians. So if you wanted just that one page on how do I access and log into SchooLinks, that's great. That'll be right there. And then, of course, the SchooLinks, we have some SchooLinks resources. So these are options. These are resources from SchooLinks themselves. So when you're logged into SchooLinks, you can see their help guides. But we've also pulled information. Staff has pulled information from those help guides into a Google Doc that should be more accessible. So I wanted to make sure you all have access to this. I'm going to go ahead and grab that link. We're going to go ahead and share that out. And now everyone here should have access to this presentation. Please feel free to look through this as much as you'd like. If you think of things that we didn't cover or address, please let us know. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. I will hang on here a little bit longer if you have other questions. Just want to see if there's something else. Great. All right. Yeah. If there are no other questions, thank you for your time. Really appreciate you coming out and learning with us. Otherwise, I will hang out here for another minute or two just to make sure there's no other questions that might pop up. But other than that, thank you so much. All right. Thank you, everybody. Seeing that there are no other questions, again, please reach out to me if you have other things that pop up. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time tonight. We look forward to getting this out to you digitally. Thank you so much and have a good evening. Take care.